Good morning, my dear young minds. Welcome back to biology session. How are you all? Right. Today, our hot topic: environmental issues. Environmental issues. It's very important chapter, dry topic, but we are expecting minimum 3 questions and maximum 4 questions from this chapter. In 2019, total 4 questions covered from this chapter. Last year 2020 NEET object exam, just 2 questions only covered from this chapter. Important chapter, right? Go through first pollution. This chapter headlines important areas: pollution, types of pollution, air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, radioactive pollution, okay, and the control of air pollution, soil pollution, water pollution and radioactive pollution means remedial steps, followed by greenhouse effect. What is global warming? What are the reasons for global warming? What are the prevention steps, preventive measures against to global warming and greenhouse effect, right? Next to case studies. There are 5 case studies. Case study on prevention of air pollution, New Delhi. Next, case study on organic farming. Case study of wastewater treatment, sewage treatment. And a case study on organic farming, and a case study of people's participation in conservation of forest. These are the 5 important case studies. From case studies, I am expecting 1 question compulsory in set exam as well as NEET object exam, right? These are the main concepts covered from this chapter. First, go through pollution. What is pollution? And undesirable changes such as undesirable physical changes, chemical changes and biological changes in air, soil, water and land is called pollution. Pollution are of various kinds. Just now I told air pollution, soil pollution, water pollution, radioactive pollution. Before that, environment. Due to pollution, fresh environment became polluted. Therefore, to overcome these problems, Government of India, even other countries in the all over the world implemented safety precautions against to environmental pollution. In such conditions, Government of India implemented Environmental Act in the year Environmental Act in the year 1986. Very important. Okay. So what is the main motto of Environmental Act? Means being a human being, we must concentrate on environment and try to protect our surrounding environment, because environment provide all primary needs for growing animals, plants, everything like soil, air, water, nutrients. These and all provide primary needs for growing population. So, being a human being, an intelligent animal, we must focus on Environmental Act and try to protect the environments. That is the main motto of Environmental Act. Next to air pollution. Air pollution. Air Act. Air Act. That means Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act. Air Act in the sense Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act. It was implemented in the year 1981. Air Act came into force 1981 and amended in 1987. Amended means implemented in the year 1987. Dear students, remember Air Act years, don't forget. Once I repeat, Air Act came into force in the year 1981 and amended in the year 1987. Air Act. Every day from industries, factories, households, and radioactive centers, nuclear centers, okay, thermal power stations, and different other regions, several thousands of tons of pollutants directly discharged into atmosphere. Therefore, fresh air became polluted. You know well what is air? Air means atmosphere. Atmosphere is a mixture of gases. It is a mixture of gases like such as oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, carbon monoxide, hydrogen, argon, krypton, xenon. So these are several gases. These all gases combine to form atmosphere. So fresh air became polluted due to discharge of exhaust smog from thermal power stations, industries, factories, households, and any other areas, right? Any other resources. To overcome this problem, Government of India implemented Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act in the year 1981 and implemented in the year 1987. That also very, very important. Next, mostly from majority of air pollutants releasing into atmosphere from thermal power stations, power plants, industries, factories like cotton factories, cement factories, sugar factories, petroleum product factories, etc. To overcome this problem, there are two methods. One is scrubber, and the other one electrostatic precipitator. Electrostatic precipitator. Electrostatic precipitator. There are two methods. These two methods minimize air pollution. Scrubber. Roughly go through diagrammatic representation. It is diagram of scrubber. INSEAD book diagram. INSEAD book diagram. Inlet for dirty air. Inlet for dirty air. Outlet for clean air. And it is inlet for lime water. It is shower. Particulate matter, particulate matter, etc. Scrubber and electrostatic precipitator, these two methods widely using in industries, factories, okay, even thermal power plants. So before going to discharge exhaust smog into atmosphere, first send it into scrubber. It is cylindrical shaped machine, a device, an equipment. Inlet for dirty air. Allow dirty air through inlet. It is inlet for lime water or normal water. Lime water in the sense calcium carbonate water. Okay. As all of you know, air it is very less in weight. So naturally air moves up. On the other hand, lime water, we have to send lime water into scrubber. So lime water moves down. Because the weight of the water is more than that of air. So naturally lime water moves down and the dirty air moves up. When water moves down, it travels through dirty air. So collect dust particles and settle down. In such a way, nearly 60 to 70% of pollutants removed from dirty air. Removed from dirty air. That all particulate matter settle at the bottom of the scrubber. Rest of the filtered air, almost filtered air, means clean air directly discharged into atmosphere. In such a way, we minimize 60 to 70% of pollutants, air pollutants from dirty air. Next method, electrostatic precipitator. Important. NCERT book diagram. It is corona. Corona means electric field, not virus. Corona means electric field. Okay. Electric field release electrons, dust particles, inlet for dirty air, collected plates grounded. Collected plates grounded. Collected plates are usually, it had positive charge, and dust particles had negative charge. Clean air. Clean air. See here, electrostatic precipitator, another method to purify dirty air. Okay. It is inlet for dirty air, outlet for clean air. Electric field means corona. We have to pass dirty air into electrostatic precipitator through inlet. Corona release electrons, means electric field release electrons. Since electrons had negative charge, negatively charged electrons added to dust particles. Therefore, dust particles also gets negative charge. Hence, negatively charged dust particles pass over flattened plates, flattened collected plates. Therefore, since plates has positive charge, trap negatively charged dust particles. Negatively charged dust particles. Therefore, due to this method, around 99% dust particles completely removed from dirty air. Later, clean air directly discharged into surrounding atmosphere. It is the most effective method than to that of scrubber. Understood now? Remember these two methods important for NEET objective exam, similarly SAT exam. These two are the best methods minimize air pollutants. Next to case study. A case study on controlling air pollutants. New Delhi. Because there are nearly about 13 metropolitan cities in all over India, like New Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore, Surat, Patna, Jaipur. Okay, so like that, total around 13 metropolitan cities are there in all over India. Which is the biggest metropolitan city in India means New Delhi. Even automobile vehicles number of automobile vehicles and various types of automobile vehicles are more in New Delhi. Therefore, from automobile vehicles every day several thousand tons of exhaust smoke direct discharge emit into atmosphere. Therefore, New Delhi surrounding area highly polluted. To overcome these problems, Government of India implemented Air Act in the year 1981, and it was amended in year 1987. Okay, uh, by using new technological methods, nowadays air pollution gradually decreasing and controlling by using scrubber or electrostatic precipitator methods, right? And some catalytic converters such as platinum, palladium, rhodium. These three are catalytic converters. Catalytic converters fixed in automobile vehicles, means inside the silencer, because there is silencer na, silencer release exhaust smog into surrounding atmosphere. So catalytic converters fixed in silencers like platinum, palladium, and rhodium. These types of catalytic converters minimize air pollutants, trap unburnt hydrocarbons. It pick up unburnt hydrocarbons and lead, etc. Almost filtered air only directly discharge into surroundings through silencer. Therefore, catalytic converters also minimize air pollutants. That is a case study on controlling air pollution in New Delhi, right? Next, water pollution. Water pollution, important. Water Act, Water Act 1974, important. After air pollution, the another important pollution is water pollution. As all of you know, water is a universal solvent. Without water, no living organism exists their life on the earth, right? Therefore, water is essential for each and every living organ, microbes, plants, animals, everything. Nowadays, because of technology, human interventions, natural calamities, fresh water became polluted. The main reason is human interventions, human activities. From industries, factories, households, mechanic sheds, hospitals, even from agricultural lands, several tons of pollutants directly dumping into air, or dumping into water. Therefore, fresh water became polluted, right? An example, see, through stream, because nowadays farmers frequently apply chemical fertilizers like insecticides, pesticides, fungicides, herbicides, weedicides, and several artificial fertilizers like DAP. Okay, due to indiscriminate usage of these types of chemical fertilizers in croplands during rainy season, through stream of rainwater, topmost layer of soil particles along with the chemical compounds erode and run along with the stream of water reaches to water bodies. Due to continuous accumulation of these types of chemical compounds, chemical fertilizers, fresh water became polluted. One of the regions. Next region, from industries, factories, households, okay, mechanic sheds, hospitals, and thermal power stations, several lakhs of tons of wastages directly discharging into local water bodies like wells, canals, pits, reservoirs, check dams, finally seas and oceans. Due to this region, fresh water became polluted. To overcome this problem, Government of India strictly implemented Water Act, Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act in the year 1974. Very, very important for NEET object exam. My dear students, are you getting my point? Okay. Next, algal blooms. Algal blooms. Algal means algae. Blooms means group. Some algae members, particularly chlorella and some other green algae members, grow in stagnant water, storage water, dirty water, municipality water, sewage water. They pick up organic nutrients from stagnant water, utilize for their regular metabolic activities, thereby prepare food in the form of SCP, single cell proteins. Single cell proteins, SCP, single cell proteins. In previous chapter, plant breeding, there already we have discussed about what is SCP, importance of SCP, again discussions no need. Since algae, particularly chlorella, green algae, widely grow in stagnant water, pick up all types of nutrients from stagnant water, thereby polluted water indirectly purify. Yes or no? In such a way, algal blooms also play a crucial role in purification of stagnant water, polluted water. Moreover, all these types of algae mostly grow in stagnant water. Hence, these are the best water pollution indicators. Water pollution indicators. Right? Another type of dangerous aquatic weeds, hyacinth, water hyacinth, Terra Bengal. Terra Bengal. Water hyacinth also called Terra Bengal. Hyacinth crassipes, full name. Okay. Dangerous aquatic weed plant grow rapidly in stagnant water like wells, reservoirs, canals, not canal, check dams, etc. It is one of the non-native plant. Due to its flower coloration and shape of leaf, this plant species imported from other countries and growing in local water bodies in India. But in those days, we don't know what are the demerits of these plants. But later, we realized it is one of the dangerous aquatic weed, water hyacinth, Eichhornia crassipes. Scientific name is Eichhornia crassipes, dangerous aquatic weed. Even we cannot control this plant species. Hence, it is scourge to water bodies. Scourge means dangerous to water bodies. It drain out oxygen. It creates BOD, biochemical oxygen demand or biological oxygen demand. Due to lack of oxygen, rest of the aquatic animals die, like fishes, crabs, snakes, reptiles. Some other aquatic animals die due to BOD. That is the dangers of Eichhornia crassipes. Common name water hyacinth or Terra Bengal. West Bengal state first implemented this plant species in their local water bodies. Hence, it is called Terror of Bengal. Later, within a short duration of time, this plant species rapidly spread to all over India in all local water bodies. Rapidly spread. Hence, nowadays we are unable to control this plant population in local water bodies. Right? That is about water pollution, Water Act, algal blooms, and water hyacinth, Eichhornia crassipes, scientific name also important. Next concept, biomagnification. So before that, suppose if we drink this type of dirty water, polluted water, that leads to some diseases, amoebic dysentery, typhoid fever, cholera disease, diarrhea. These types of diseases frequently occur among human beings. So better always drink purified water. Purified filtered mineral water is good for health. So being a human being, we must follow these rules, regulations, try to control water pollution, minimize water pollutants before going to discharge wastewater. Means wastewater, suppose bathing water, cleaning water or any wastewater, proper treatment is compulsory. So after completion of treatment, treated water directly discharged into local water bodies. That is so good for water conditions, because water is essential for all growing organisms, all developing organisms, right? Next concept, biomagnification. magnification. Very, very important concept. Some chemical compounds or insecticides, pesticides. The best example insecticide DDT, dichloro, diphenyl, trichloroethane, and mercury. Mercury. These two are the dangerous pollutants. Okay. Go through flow chart. First, water. It contains DDT, dichloro, diphenyl, trichloroethane, approximately about 0.003 ppb, parts per billion. Parts per billion. Next to zooplanktons. Zooplanktons. Zooplanktons contain DDT approximately about 0.04 parts per million. Next to small fishes. Small fishes contain DDT concentration approximately about 0.5 ppm, parts per million. And big fishes means large fishes that contain DDT concentration approximately about 2 ppm, parts per million. At last, fish eating birds that consists of DDT concentration approximately about 25 ppm. 25 ppm. This flow chart very, very important, my dear students. Normal water. Just I told from agricultural lands, because nowadays farmers indiscriminately using chemical compounds, chemical fertilizers like insecticides, pesticides, fungicides, herbicides or weedicides. DDT is one of the insecticide, dangerous chemical compound. Dangerous insecticide. Stands for dichloro, diphenyl, trichloroethane. Due to continuously accumulation of DDT or mercury, their concentration increase in water approximately 0.003 parts per billion. NCERT book concepts. Next, zooplanktons. Zooplanktons feed on phytoplanktons. Phytoplanktons example algae, green algae means chlorophyceae, phaeophyceae, rhodophyceae, diatomsu, desmitsu, etc. Zooplanktons feed on phytoplanktons. So whatever DDT available in plants, the total DDT transferred to animals through food chain. It's one of the aquatic food chain, water food chain, aquatic food chain. So DDT concentration obviously increase in animals about 0.04 ppm, parts per million. Next, small fishes feed on zooplanktons like creatures, crustaceans, etc. So in small fishes, DDT concentration again increase 0.5 parts per million. Next, large fishes, because large fishes feed on small fishes and zooplanktons, sometimes plants also. Therefore, gradually when you move up, DDT concentration gradually increased about 2 ppm, 2 parts per million in large fishes. And fish eating birds feed on large fishes, small fishes, zooplanktons, and even sometimes water means phytoplanktons also. Hence, DDT concentration is high, maximum in fish eating birds, that is approximately about 25 parts per million. So due to continuous accumulation of DDT or mercury, fresh water became polluted. Inside book concepts, you roughly go through one box point. right? Flow chart. The next concept, eutrophication. Eutrophication. What is eutrophication? Eutrophication. Important concept. During rainy season, due to heavy rains fall on the earth. Therefore, topmost layer of soil erode. Soil particles along with the fertilizers, minerals, nutrients and chemical compounds like insecticides, pesticides, fungicides. These all chemical compounds, micro and macro minerals run along with stream of water, reaches to local water bodies. Thereby, nutrients concentration gradually increase in local water bodies. Due to enrichment of nutrients, some aquatic dangerous weed plants such as Eichhornia crassipes, Terror Bengal, okay, and some other aquatic weed plants also rapidly grow in such a local water bodies. They drain out oxygen. They pick up total oxygen from surrounding water. That leads to BOD, biochemical oxygen demand or biological oxygen demand. Due to BOD, rest of the all aquatic animals die. This total phenomena is called eutrophication. Enrichment of nutrients in stagnant water that leads to creation of aquatic weed plants, and then aquatic weed plants pick up the total oxygen, drain out oxygen, that leads to BOD. So due to BOD, rest of the aquatic animals die. This total phenomena is called eutrophication, right? Very important for NEET object exam, right? Next concept, a case study. A case study. Wastewater treatment. Waste water treatment. A case study of wastewater treatment, also called STP, sewage treatment plants. In previous chapter, microbes in human welfare, there already you might have studied what is STP, what is sewage treatment plant, what are the steps in sewage treatment plants. It includes 3 steps: primary treatment, secondary treatment and tertiary treatment. Primary treatment include filtration and sedimentation. Filtration and sedimentation. Secondary treatment include biological treatment, because aerobic bacteria, aerobic fungi and anaerobic bacteria, these types of microscopic organisms play a crucial role in removal of wastages from sewage water. Hence, secondary treatment also called biological treatment. These topics are already covered in previous chapter, microbes in human welfare. You once remember. And tertiary treatment. Tertiary treatment include addition of ozone gas, chlorine gas and ultraviolet rays, UV rays. Here, ozone gas and chlorine gas kill some harmful pathogens such as bacteria, virus, fungus, etc. And ultraviolet rays degrade chemical compounds such as DDT, dichloro, diphenyl, trichloroethane, and several other chemical compounds also. Some insecticides, pesticides, fungicides, whatever chemical compounds are there in water that was degraded, that is degraded, breakdown into simpler forms due to ultraviolet rays. Okay, right? That is about STP. In America, there is one of the biggest states, California. In California, there is a city, Humboldt city. Humboldt city university professors, students, scholars local employers, local common people together constructed several thousands of sewage treatment plants, STPs, sewage treatment plants, uh, for proper filtration of air, that means proper filtration of wastewater, because from industries, factories, households and any other resources every day several lakhs of tons of dirty matter, either plastic items, chemical fertilizers, any other dirty matter directly dumping into water. Therefore fresh water became polluted. One of the area in Humboldt, Arcata Marsh. One of the place in one of the place in Humboldt city. Marsh means marshy areas, waterlogged areas. Therefore, Humboldt University professors, scholars, local employers, and even common people, this all people combined and they tried their level best for proper filtration of wastewater by constructing several thousands of sewage treatment plants. Right? After proper filtration, treated water or filtered water directly discharged into local water bodies. So Arcata Marsh, it include around 60 hectares area. They implemented this method in 60 hectares. Later they given awareness how to treat wastewater, and what is the importance of STP, the total process, their implementation. Okay, they given the awareness among society. So that is one of the important concepts, a case study of wastewater treatment. Right? FOAM, 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 Friends of Arcata Marsh. FOAM, FOAM stands for Friends of Arcata Marsh. Your friends in the sense local population, along with not only government, even private sector, private population also combined, and they implemented STPs. That is called FOAM, Friends of Arcata Marsh. Finally, they succeeded and they constructed several thousands of STPs, and nowadays they are filtering properly sewage water after processing only processed water, treated water directly dumping into local water bodies. Next concept, eco sanitation, ecosan. Important. Ecosan stands for eco sanitation method. Eco sanitation means it is public toilets constructed in open areas, towns, cities, etc. Eco sanitation, eco toilets means a person or employee who is working in eco sanitation. They collect human excreta, human fecal matter, human excreta, and they process human excreta. After process, use human excreta as organic manure for crop cultivation. Not only animal dung, cow dung, animal dung, even human excreta also one of the natural organic manure. It is rich in nutrients, both micro and macronutrients. Hence, even human excreta also used as fertilizer, organic fertilizer, natural fertilizer, like litter, vermicompost, etc., animal dung, etc. Hence, eco sanitation, Ecosan centers first implemented in Sri Lanka. The same technology first implemented in India, in Kerala. First in Sri Lanka, later in India, Kerala. That is one of the important NEET objective question. General concepts. Try to understand, right? Next is solid wastages. Solid wastes. Just now I told solid wastes include metals, metal particles, dust particles, okay, plastic wastages, etc. From industries, factories, households, mechanic sheds, from thermal power stations or from nuclear centers, every day several tons of solid wastages directly dumping into surrounding empty places. Empty place. So due to continuous dumping of these wastages, surrounding area became polluted, fresh soil became polluted. To overcome this problem, Government of India implemented landfills, solid landfills, meaning dustbins, collect all solid waste, place in landfills and buried under soil, or incinerations. Incineration means burning process. Okay, incineration, it include a process of burning of solid wastages at 1300 degrees Celsius temperature. 1300 degree Celsius temperature. Suppose solid metal wastages, solid plastic wastages collect from different resources and send it into incinerations. It is a mechanical device. Incineration maintain around 13 degree Celsius temperature. At this temperature, this all solid wastages burnt and turn into powder. In such a way, minimize solid wastages by filling them into landfills, buried under soil, or burning in incinerations. That's all. That is about solid wastages. Okay. Next to see Kabodiwala. Kabodiwala means municipality workers, scavengers. They act as scavenger. Do you know one thing? Even fungus also act as scavenger. They act as municipality worker. They play a crucial role in clean and hygienic because fungus attack detritus or decomposing matter, release some digestive enzymes, digest them, then pick up nutrients from digested matter. In such a way, even fungus also play a crucial role in the maintenance of cleaning and hygienic of our surroundings. They maintain our surroundings clean and hygienic. Hence, fungus also called scavengers. And kabadiwalas means municipality workers. Okay, and rack pickers. They collect all wastage from different resources, from each and every house, from each and every street. Okay, in towns, mandal level, taluka level, district level, cities, everywhere. Okay, and in such a way, they reducing soil pollution and air pollution. They play a crucial role in minimizing soil pollution and air pollution. Remember, kabodiwalas and rack pickers, municipality workers, right? Next to e-wastages, electronic wastages, e-wastes, electronic wastes. It include unused, that means unwanted wire, system wastages. Suppose computer system wastages, computer parts, next to mobile waste parts. Okay, electric wastages, electric wire wastages. This and all. So indiscriminately dumping of electric wastages into surrounding soil became polluted. Mostly developed countries, developing countries. There are two categories: developed countries, developing countries. Developed countries, example, America, Britain, China, Russia and France. Small code ABCRF. America, Britain, China, Russia and France. These five are developed countries. Developing countries example, India, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Japan and rest of the other countries. Developed countries, they developed widely and they produce and they dump large means a large amount of e-wastage into surrounding areas. Due to this reason, developed countries mostly they sell their wastage into developing countries. Developing countries purchase electronic wastages from developed countries and after processing they collect some metals like copper, iron, nickel, silica, okay, and many other metals, copper, iron, nickel, silicon, etc. These metals after recycling widely using for other purposes. Therefore, developed countries mostly produce electronic wastages and they sell their wastages into developing countries. Hence, developing countries purchase this type of electronic wastages from developed countries and after processing, they collect some metals like copper, iron, nickel and many other metals. These metals widely using in other purposes. Right? That is about electronic wastages. Important. Next to a case study of plastic waste. Case study of plastic waste. Plastic waste. Case study of plastic waste. Right? A famous industrialist, Ahmad Khan. Ahmad Khan, at the age of 56 years or 57 years, he and his co-workers collaborate with RV College of Engineering. RV College of Engineering in Bangalore. Because here RV College of Engineering provided technology for plastic waste management, recycling process of plastic. They collected plastic wastage from all areas of the Bangalore city. By using technology, they processed plastic waste. Therefore, plastic waste convert into polyblend. This is the powder, plastic powder. Polyblend mixed with bitumen. Bitumen is black color tar. Polyblend mixed with the bitumen and widely using in lay roads. They collect all types of plastic waste, plastic covers, plastic tubs, containers, everything from different regions in Bangalore city. By using technology which is provided by RV College of Engineering, plastic waste is burnt and after recycling they produce polyblend. It is a type of plastic powder. It was mixed with bitumen, a black color liquid. By using polyblend and bitumen, nowadays we are laying roads over several meters. Okay, that is the importance of case study of plastic waste. Ahmad Khan, very important. Ahmad Khan and RV College of Engineering. Remember, polyblend, bitumen also important. Next, agrochemicals. Agrochemicals and their wastages. Agro means agriculture. Just now I told. Nowadays, farmers widely using insecticides, fungicides, pesticides, herbicides or weedicides to produce more crop yield, because for increasing population it is very essential follow new methods, technological methods, uh, smart methods in cultivation process, like plant breeding techniques, genetic engineering methods, or plant tissue culture methods, etc., instead of conventional methods or traditional methods. At the same time, farmers frequently use different types of artificial fertilizers and chemical compounds, control insects, pest, bacteria, virus, fungus, etc. Therefore, due to indiscriminate usage of chemical compounds, chemical fertilizers, chemicals in agricultural land, fresh air became polluted, soil became polluted, crop plants also polluted, obviously food grains also polluted. If we eat such type of food grains, our health condition also polluted. Therefore, better follow natural organic farming, natural agricultural cultivation methods instead of artificial cultivation methods. Better apply organic manure, natural fertilizers like animal dung, human dung, vermicompost, litter, and some organic crops also are there. Some Fabaceae members, some Fabaceae plant species, like an example, Trichodesmium erythraeum. Trichodesmium erythraeum, one of the Fabaceae family member. It used as organic manure. Calotropis, another example, Calotropis. Even Calotropis plant leaves also used as organic manure. They mix with the soil, increase soil fertility. Therefore, better follow natural organic farming instead of artificial cultivation methods. Next, a case study. A case study of organic farming. Organic farming. A famous farmer, agriculturist, Ramesh Chandra Dagar. Ramesh Chandra Dagar, he was from Sonipat, Haryana, from North India. He implemented integrated organic farming. On one hand, he cultivated crops. On one hand, he maintained poultry. On the other hand, he maintained aquaculture, pisciculture, honeybees, okay, and recycling process, etc. Therefore, he given awareness among society what is the importance of organic farming and how can we produce more crop yield, all types of food grains in higher quantity for increasing population instead of artificial cultivation methods, etc. Therefore, he formed some groups, small groups, and local farmers joined in his groups. Finally, he collected around 5,000 farmers. 5,000 farmers in his group. Nowadays, these farmers giving awareness among society what is the importance of organic farming. Right? That is a case study of organic farming. Remember, Ramesh Chandra Dagar. He was from Sonipat, Haryana. Right? Next to in water pollution, I forgot one concept. Dissolved oxygen BOD. DO means dissolved oxygen, BOD means biological oxygen demand or biochemical oxygen demand. fish kill, sewage discharge, sewage discharge. It indicates flow of direction, flow of direction. Concentration, NCERT book diagram, graphical representation. Here I am explaining the association between dissolved oxygen and biological oxygen demand or biochemical oxygen demand. X-axis, Y-axis. Take flow of direction on X-axis and concentration, chemicals concentration on Y-axis. Naturally, dissolved oxygen rate is more in fresh water but less in polluted water. See, red line indicates DO and black line indicates BOD. Sewage discharge from industries, factories, households and from other resources every day several tons of waste is directly discharged into local water bodies from municipality canals and all. Due to sewage discharge into local water bodies, fresh water became polluted. So obviously BOD level increase. BOD level increase. When BOD level is increased, DO level decrease. Dissolved oxygen DO level decrease. Okay. When BOD level decrease, DO level increase. Understood now? Got my point? That means dissolved oxygen and biochemical oxygen demand, these two are always inversely proportional to each other. Inversely proportional to each other. Hope you understood. When DO level decrease, BOD level increase. When BOD level decrease, DO level increase. Hence, these two are always inversely proportional to each other. That is, see, dark area, light area. Dark area indicates sewage water, means polluted water. Light area indicates fresh water. In sewage water, fish died, and clean water organisms disappear. Clean water organisms disappear in dirty water, whereas reappearance of clean water animals. When water is free from pollution or in treated water, again aquatic animals reappear. Hence, it indicates reappearance of clean water animals. Dark area indicates disappearance of clean water animals. Understood now? Due to discharge of sewage into local water bodies, local water body polluted. That indicates dirty air, dirty water. So, clean water organisms decline. Fresh water indicates reappearance of clean water animals. That's all. Graphical representation also very important, right? And we are expecting questions from this area. Next to nuclear waste. Nuclear waste. See, nuclear energy. Nuclear energy widely using in production of energy, electric power, electric current. But after some time period, several countries realized there are many demerits from nuclear energy. Because, an example, in Russia, there is a great company, one of the biggest companies, Chernobyl. Chernobyl incident. You might have learned these concepts even at school level, class 9 and 10th. In Chernobyl incident, nuclear energy, nuclear waste is directly discharged into local water bodies. Therefore, dangerous metal particles, mercury and all, directly leak into water due to its accidental leakage. Accidental leakage, that all chemical compounds mixed with water, and obviously animals, freshwater animals die. Okay, if we eat such type of aquatic animals, means our health condition became damage, decline. Hence, the best example, Russia country identified what are the demerits of nuclear energy. So one fine day, due to accidental leakage of nuclear wastes into surrounding stream of local water bodies, the total local water polluted. Even fishes, large number of fishes also died, and from that time onwards, Russia took safety measures against nuclear pollution. Right? Even nuclear pollution leads to cancer diseases, mutations. What is mutation? Sudden changes occur in the sequence of base pairs at gene level or DNA is called mutations. So mutations leads to disorders. Okay, Klinefelter syndrome, Turner syndrome, etc. Even different types of cancer diseases also rapidly spread among human beings. That is the demerits of electronic wastages, right? Next to greenhouse effect. Greenhouse effect and global warming. Global warming. You know well, you might have studied greenhouse effect at the school level or college level. Greenhouse means actually 3/4 of the earth is covered with water and 1/4 of the earth is covered with the land. Plants grow in both water and land. So the entire globe, it looks like light green in color. Hence it is called greenhouse. Such type of greenhouse, it is just comparison. I am telling just comparison. This type of greenhouse affected due to temperature, high temperature. Hence it is called greenhouse effect. An example, go through simple diagrammatic representation. Earth surface, different layers in atmosphere, sunlight, sun rays directly fall on earth, and some rays reflect into surroundings. It is the atmosphere. Atmosphere include carbon dioxide, methane, etc. During daytime, sun rays directly fall on earth, out of which some rays again reflect into reverse direction. Already there is atmosphere. Atmosphere means include several gases like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, methane, oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, argon, krypton, xenon, etc. The most important greenhouse gas is carbon dioxide, next to methane. Important for NEET target exam. Whatever sun rays reflects into return, that all sun rays trapped by carbon dioxide and methane. Due to continuous accumulation of rays into atmosphere, earth temperature gradually increase. Hence it is called greenhouse effect. When earth temperature increase, what happened? Polar regions like Arctic regions, Antarctic regions, mountains, ice cubes, and glaciers, this and all melt, release water into surrounding seas and oceans. Obviously, sea level, ocean level increase. Then what happened? increased water level in seas and oceans cover local uh, seashore areas, surrounding seashore areas covered with water. Then what happened? Agricultural lands, industries, factories, and surrounding total area covered with water. One of the great demerits of global warming. Global warming, right? That leads to greenhouse effect. To overcome this problem, plantation, forestation is very essential because plants, trees play a crucial role maintain average temperature, normal temperature on the earth. Of course, greenhouse, what do you call it? Greenhouse gas is essential, but excess of temperature because without greenhouse gases we cannot exist our life on the earth. Because greenhouse gases would maintain minimum 15 degrees Celsius temperature. Minimum 15 degrees Celsius temperature on the earth. Suppose there is no greenhouse gas on the earth, then what happened? Temperature, earth temperature decreases to minus 18 degrees Celsius. Minus, negative value. Due to absence of greenhouse gas, earth temperature gradually decline up to minus 18 degrees Celsius. At this temperature, we cannot exist our life. Even other plants, other animals also unable to grow in such areas. Therefore, minimum temperature is essential. So, greenhouse gases maintain 15 degrees Celsius temperature. The excess of greenhouse gas that leads to global warming. Right? In NCERT book, one graph given. Percentage of carbon dioxide, methane, chlorofluorocarbons, and dinitrogen oxide. Carbon dioxide, how much percent? 60%. Methane, 20%. Chlorofluorocarbons, 14%. Dinitrogen oxide, 6%. These are all greenhouse gases. The dangerous gas is carbon dioxide, 60%. Methane 20%, chlorofluorocarbons 14%, and dinitrogen oxide 6%. So due to excessive release of these types of greenhouse gases, earth temperature gradually increase. That is called greenhouse effect. Right? And the last concept, global ozone depletion. Ozone depletion. Ozone, one of the important gases. Ozone depletion. Ozone depletion. As all of you know, atmosphere includes several gases: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, ionosphere, and exosphere. Ozone present in stratosphere. Ozone are two kinds: bad ozone, good ozone. Bad ozone. See, different layers are there now. Troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, ionosphere, exosphere, etc. Bad ozone present in troposphere. Okay, and good ozone present in stratosphere. Because the distance from Earth to stratosphere around 8 kilometers. 8 kilometers. Okay. But bad ozone creates some diseases among human beings. But good ozone protect Earth from harmful radiation like alpha rays, beta rays, gamma rays, X-rays, etc. Okay. But at particular regions, at some regions on the Earth, ozone, the thickness of the ozone layer gradually decreasing due to the activity of UV rays. B rays, ultraviolet B rays, react with CFC, chlorofluorocarbons, and chlorofluorocarbons break down into chlorine atoms. Chlorine atoms react with ozone. So chlorine plus O3. Hence, O3 break down into O2 plus O. O2 plus O. Very simple concept. From sunlight. When sunlight fall on earth, different types of rays like ultraviolet rays, alpha rays, beta rays, gamma rays, infrared rays reaches to earth. One of the rays is ultraviolet B rays, harmful rays, very dangerous rays. Ultraviolet rays, B rays react with the chlorofluorocarbons. Chlorofluorocarbons produced from refrigerators, air coolers and air conditioners. Okay, so minimize the usage of refrigerators, air coolers and air conditioners. Chlorofluorocarbons break down into chlorine atoms. In presence of UV B rays, chlorofluorocarbons break down into chlorine atoms. Later, chlorine atoms react with O3, ozone layer. Ozone chemical formula O3. Okay, what is the color of the ozone? Light blue color. What is the smell of ozone layer? Dry fish smell. Dry fish smell. Hence, chlorine atoms react with oxygen O3. Therefore, O3 break down into O2 plus O. O2 plus O. That indicates it decrease the thickness of the ozone layer. It decrease the thickness of the ozone layer. That is called ozone depletion. To overcome these problems, all over the world, nearly more than 160 countries made sign on Montreal Protocol. Montreal Protocol. Montreal Protocol. Okay. It was signed in the year 1986 and 1987 and implemented in the year 1989. Throughout worldwide, nearly more than 160 countries, presidents or prime ministers signed on Montreal Protocol in the year 1987 at Montreal. It is one of the cities in Canada. Okay, and it was implemented effective from 1989. Effective from 1989. 2020 NEET object exam question. Right? Don't forget. That is about ozone depletion, Montreal Protocol, and how ozone depletion takes place. This mechanism, flowchart also important. Right? Next, deforestation. This is the last concept. Deforestation, Chipko movement, Zoom cultivation, and all. Forest deforestation. Actually, percentage of forest in plains. In plains, 33%. In plains. And 67% for hills. So forest play a crucial role in nature. The percentage of forest for the plains 33%. Plains means flattened areas, and the percentage of forest for the hills 67%. Okay. This percentage is also important for NEET object exam, right? So, due to that means human beings and other population, they live their existence on plains. Therefore, forest area almost decrease in plains. Nowadays, 33% forest area in plains decreases to 19%. 19% due to deforestation, industrialization, concrete jungles, etc. Right? Amrita Devi, a Bishnoi, she was from Rajasthan, Bishnoi tribe. Amrita Devi and her two daughters and a local village population fight against deforestation. Okay, because in those days, British Governor Generals They tried to cut off trees, forest trees and all, to collect the costliest wood, because wood widely using in furniture items. Okay, that's why in those days Amrita Devi, her two daughters and a local village population fight against to deforestation, and one of the great revolution, and they tried to protect forest conservation. Nowadays government of India giving Amrita Devi Bishnoi, Amrita Devi Bishnoi Conservation of Forest Award. A person who take interest towards conservation of forest, for those people government of India every year giving a great award, that is called Amrita Devi Bishnoi Conservation of Forest Award. This topic was important. One more famous personality, Sundarlal Bahuguna. Sundarlal Bahuguna, he was from West Bengal. Recently, just 2 months back, he was died. Sundarlal Bahuguna is the father of Chipko movement. They also tried the level best in case of conservation of forest and all. Right? The Jhum cultivation. What is Jhum cultivation? Usually, tribal people living in forest area, they select a particular area, certain area in forest. They cut trees, remove all wastages, boulders, everything from such area. Hence, forest area converted into agricultural area, agricultural land. There they cultivate crops, 5 years, 10 years or 15 years, like that. And later they migrate to another area, repeat the same process. First select particular area in forest, cut trees, remove all these things, clean all these things. Therefore, forest area converted into agricultural land, they cultivate crops, okay, and again they transfer to another area. That means that is called Jhum cultivation. Jhum cultivation also one of the reasons of deforestation. Right? To overcome these problems, Government of India implemented forest management. Forest management. Okay, these are the main topics covered from environmental issues. Right? All of you watch this video properly. After completion of watching video, immediately read the same chapter in NCERT lines. Try to understand the concept. It is a dry topic. No link between point to point, but very important. We are expecting minimum 3 questions and maximum 4 questions from this chapter in 2021 NEET objective exam. Unset. Thank you very much. Prepare well. Have a nice day.